I said, one of the other cars that wasn't involved in the accident had a camera in it, and I have video of the accident that very clearly shows that the blue car was not at fault, that the red car ran the red light and hit the blue car.
Now, let me ask you something. You're just baiting her right now, right?
I'm just baiting her.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't have video.
And welcome back to another episode of True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinny Capola. With me, as always, is Lynn Lambden, a real private investigator right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for coming back. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, thank you for being here. We do so appreciate it. We hope you enjoy it. Lynn, what do you got for us this week?
Well, Vinny, I'd like to say we also appreciate you guys that keep coming back too, not just you new listeners.
Absolutely. We love that you come back. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It really
means a lot. So how you doing today, Vinny?
Once again, I have to answer with my stock response. I'm happy to be on the right side of the grass.
Right side, that's right. Above dirt. That's right. Me too. Dirt.
There you go.
Happy to be above dirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Vinny, this week I thought we would talk about a case where, I get a lot of referrals. A lot of people refer things to me a lot, just because of the people I know. Been in the business a long time. The organizations I'm affiliated with. So right here in this town that I live in, Roswell, where Ken Kraus was a police officer, I had a car wreck referred to me, and
well, as usual, I like to update our new listeners to who Ken Kraus is. He's a very good friend of the show. He is a ex-Marine sergeant and the first hostage that was taken during the Iranian Revolution of 1979. An incredible story of resilience, bravery, and commitment to duty. Look up Ken Kraus. And you can also listen to a few of the episodes where we've had him on. Good episode, good friend of the show.
Yeah, good friend of the show. Good man. But so I got this lady referred to me, and they said that she was in a car wreck, and it was not her fault, but there's a witness stating that it was her fault. But they do believe it was a witness that didn't see the accident.
So she was lying.
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
The witness was lying.
The witness was lying.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, have her give me a call or give me her number and I'll give her a call, whatever the situation is. So we hooked up, and so I talked to her, and no attorney would take her case because there was a witness, and the police report was written very vague. But the witness said that our client ran the red light. And that was really the only identifying information. There was no tickets written. The police officer didn't go either direction of who he thought was at fault or anything. So the police officer really thought he was being clever and thought that he was going to put the witness down as being the one who put fault of the accident on our client. And our client was actually put in the number 2 position. And in the state of Georgia, the number 2 position is typically the non-at-fault position on the police report. Driver number 1 is typically at fault. Driver number 2 is not at fault. Although you can reverse it and put driver number 1 as being the non-at-fault driver. It's just rule of thumb is driver number 2 is typically not at fault.
Got it.
So I hooked her up with one of my attorneys, and I said, just if you'll take the case, I'll do the investigation, and I'll see what we can do to overturn this witness, and we'll go from there. So the attorney files all the appropriate reports and everything he has to file with the insurance company, puts them on notice that the client has counsel. And so when everything's done, I call the witness, and the witness is Spanish, and she speaks very good English. You wouldn't know that she was Spanish. And so I call her up and I ask her what happened. And, but when I call her up, I leave it very vague. I just said, I'm an investigator. I didn't say private. I didn't say police. I just said, I'm an investigator working this accident and I need to know what's going on. I need to know her story. So I didn't tell her which side I was working for. Even if I was working either side, I just left it very vague. So she's very precise about what happened. Oh, this person ran the red light in this car. We'll say that I don't remember what the cars were, but we'll say that our client was in a blue Honda and the other one was in a red Ford. The blue Honda ran the red light and the blue Ford come across the intersection and
red Ford.
The red Ford come across the intersection and hit the Honda and caused the accident. The Honda caused the accident. So I let her go on with her story, and And I said, well, we have conflicting witnesses in this case. She goes, oh, yeah, I was told I was the only witness. What do you mean you were told you were the only witness? I said, I didn't tell her this, but typically there's a police officer won't tell you if there's any other witnesses or not. They just get your statement and they move on.
Right.
Typically, they don't even tell the drivers that there's a witness.
Right.
And I said, well, there's conflicting witness stories here. She goes, what do you mean? I was told I was the only witness. And I said, well, there's conflicting witness stories here. And I said, and I let her go on with her, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the only witness. I said, how do you know you're the only witness? Well, the police officer told me that I was going to be the only witness. What do you mean you were told you were going to be the only witness? That's not how this works, ma'am. I said, if other people witness the accident or if there's cameras or anything, those are also, evidence to the accident. You can't be the only witness if somebody else witnessed. And the streets, this was rush hour traffic. There were a lot of other people out there. So I said, matter of fact, I said, one of the other cars that wasn't involved in the accident had a camera in it. And I have video of the accident that very clearly shows that the blue car was not at fault, that the red car ran the red light and hit the blue car.
Now, let me ask you something. You're just baiting her right now, right?
I'm just baiting her.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't have video.
Yeah. So you're just trying to get her to change her story or to see if she's really lying or not. Very clever. Yes.
Yes, I'm just lying to her.
Yeah.
And I said I've got video that come from an independent person who doesn't know you or either party involved in the accident that shows that our client clearly had the green light and you ran that the blue car ran the red light and hit the red car and caused the accident. And that shows that you wasn't anywhere near the intersection, that your car wasn't anywhere near the intersection. And you couldn't have seen who had the red light. Well, she got angry and all of a sudden cussed me out and then quit speaking English and said she could only speak Spanish.
Oh, my gosh.
And she hung up on me.
Do you speak any Spanish at all?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
But I record all phone conversations, and I do have 2 Spanish people that work for me that speaks very good Spanish.
Okay, great.
So, but I didn't need it. I didn't need any Spanish interpreters in this case. So, About 10 minutes later, my phone rings, and it's a Roswell police officer. This happened in the city of Roswell, and it's a Roswell police officer. And he says, I hear you call my witness. I said, what do you mean called your witness? It's not your witness.
Yeah, right.
Now, you got to remember, Vinny, I don't just bow to police officers because they tell me they're a police officer. I stand up to them and I come right back at them. And I said, what do you mean it's your witness? I said, they witnessed an accident. And I said, by the way, your witness is lying. I said, I just flat out caught your witness in a lie. And he said, well, let me put it to you this way. He said, if you call the witness again, I will arrest you. I said, you can't arrest me for calling a witness.
Yeah.
I said, I'm a private investigator who's hired on this case to investigate this case, and I can call this witness all I want. I said, let me put it to you a different way. I said, are you going to tell the judge when I serve your witness with a subpoena that he can't subpoena this witness?
Yeah.
He said, leave the witness alone. So I went and filed a complaint with the Roswell Police Department for intimidation, for a police officer for intimidation.
Good for you.
So the second in command or third in command at the Roswell Police Department said, well, okay, we'll investigate. Well, 3 days later, they call me in to the police department to tell me their findings. And they said, well, he used a city of Roswell phone, and he did leave his body cam on, and we've reviewed it, and he did nothing wrong. He was following protocol.
By threatening you?
I said, how was he following protocol? I said, there's no protocol to what he's doing. I said, first of all, he cannot tell me that I cannot contact a witness.
Right.
He said, well, he wasn't telling you that you couldn't contact a witness. He was telling you that you couldn't badger another citizen in Roswell. I said, no, he was not.
Yeah.
I said, he told me that I couldn't contact his witness. And I said,
let me ask you something. Are you taping this conversation, by the way? I mean, did you tape the conversation with
yes,
the first?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said,
my friends, my new people to the podcast, Lynn has told us before on this show that he records every one of his conversations. That's why I'm asking this question.
Well, Vinny, not only do I record every conversation that I have during my investigations, I just have a recorder set up on my phone that records every conversation that I have, whether it's a business call or a private call.
Is this an app on your phone?
It's an app on my phone.
Okay.
So if you call me just to say hello, it's recorded. So I have.
Let me think back to, was there ever a time where I cussed you out?
So I have every phone call recorded.
Yeah.
So it's just a fail safe, because sometimes you forget to hit record.
Oh, yeah.
And when I record, when I do calls like that, not only do I have my phone to record, I lay a recorder down and I put my phone on speaker, and then I record. So I got a double recording of it.
Nice.
So I was kind of confused at how that they could say that this wasn't officer intimidation.
Right. So he said to you, no. The officer never said that you can't call the witness. He said you can't call a citizen, and that's why I interrupted you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I told the
Second
whoever.
or third in command,
I said, look, I will call the witness anytime I want, because they're a witness on a police report, and I'm investigating this in a case that's likely going to end up in court. So now I will tell you why the officer did what he did.
Which one? The second or third in command, or the first one? The
first one. I'll tell you why he paid a witness to lie.
He paid a witness.
I can't prove that he paid her to lie.
Yeah.
I have no evidence that he proved. I have no evidence to suggest that he paid her to lie.
But you believe that he did.
I have reason to believe that he has motivation to falsify a witness.
Okay.
And I know the witness lied. And we will get into that in a minute, and you can make the decision for yourself.
Okay.
The client that contacted me, she has a 16-year-old daughter. At the time of the accident, her daughter was 16 with some mental issues. And her daughter was having a mental breakdown about 2 months before this car accident. She called the Roswell Police Department to come out and assist with the mental breakdown of the daughter. Well, Mr. Cocky come out, and instead of calling an ambulance out to take her daughter to a psych ward, Mr. Cocky tackled a 16-year-old daughter, put cuffs on her, bruised her from her elbows to her wrist, drug her across the dirt, threw her in the back of the police car, and took her to the hospital, which is against protocol.
Yeah.
You're supposed to call an ambulance.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the mother who was in the car accident, at the urging of the doctor, the intake doctor at the mental facility, said, your daughter was brought in here in a cop car, and her arms were all bruised up. Her chest was bruised up where the cop tackled her on the ground. He said, I want you to file a complaint against this police officer. Well, the police officer that worked the wreck was the same police officer that the doctor and the mother had filed a complaint against.
Uh-huh.
So when she got in a wreck 2 months later, this same police officer showed up.
Uh-huh.
And instead of the police officer doing his job, he mysteriously found a witness that didn't see the accident.
Uh-huh. I think you're right about him.
Well, now, let me tell you why I think the witness was falsified. Because when I told the witness that I had a video, and that her vehicle was not in a position for her to see the red light, and all of a sudden she no longer spoke English, and she disappeared and wouldn't testify in the case.
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't she testify? Because I told her, I said, with this video, if you testify and then we show the video and it shows that you're lying, we get you in contempt of court and you go to prison.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, she didn't want to testify.
Right. Yeah.
Now, why didn't she want to testify, Vinny?
Because she wasn't a real witness.
Because if you're telling the truth, wouldn't a video just substantiate what you're saying?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Wouldn't I mean, if you call me up and said I got a video, I would say great.
Yeah.
Great.
Great, break it out.
That just then you know that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't all of a sudden forget how to speak the language.
Yeah.
And then disappear.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the insurance company went from, well, your client's at fault to, okay, well, we'll investigate. And then they went from we'll investigate to, well, we no longer have a witness to, okay, we'll settle this case for whatever you want because we're not going to deal with officer intimidation.
Right.
So we settle the case for policy limits.
Yeah, policy limits. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because we were going to bring up, if they wasn't going to pay policy limits, we were going to file a lawsuit and we were going to take it to court. And we were going to play the video for the jury of the officer calling me and threatening me.
Yeah.
And we were going to say, this is how this case started.
Yeah.
With this officer calling our investigator and threatening him for calling the witness.
Right.
And I didn't.
And then the second or third command guy tried to double down, and so he's in on it too.
Well, I mean, I don't know that he's in on it, but it's just like
he definitely tried to cover for him.
He did.
He changed the language that first officer used. The first officer said to you, "Don't call my witness," and then the command guy said, "No, he didn't say that. He said, don't call a citizen." Right?
Well, what he said he said. He wasn't telling you not to call a witness. He was telling you not to badger citizens.
Yeah, but he just didn't use the right language.
Yeah. And Vinny, you and I both know that if that would have been a legitimate witness, that they would have said, Bring it on. Bring your video on. You think I'm lying? Put that video on the tape.
Yeah.
Put that video
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah.
And the insurance company, all of a sudden, that witness was cooperating with everybody.
Yeah.
Was cooperating with the insurance companies, with our clients' insurance companies, with the other parties' insurance companies, was cooperating with everybody. And once that I made them think that there was a video of the accident, all of a sudden, that witness stopped cooperating with everybody. And all of a sudden, she stopped speaking English. And then the insurance companies asked us, they said, well, this witness doesn't speak English. This is a strictly Spanish speaking witness. I said, let me play the tape for you. And I played him a 10-minute conversation of her speaking perfect English.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they had no choice. They said, well, okay, they said, well, can we see the videotape? And I said,
Yeah.
no, you can't see the videotape.
Yeah.
And they said, why not? And I said, well, the witness hasn't turned it over to me yet.
This episode is brought to you by Simple Funding LLC. For all of your pre-settlement funding needs, contact Simple Funding LLC to receive your money promptly. They're a customer-centric legal funding company that provides exceptional funding solutions at affordable rates. Simple Funding covers a diverse range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, worker compensation, medical malpractice, wrongful death, and more. They recognize that life goes on and you need to access your funds immediately, which is why they offer clients a swift and efficient process with minimal documentation requirements. For more information, visit simplefundingllc.com or contact them directly at 678-855-6232.
I just told him,
what made you suspect that the witness was full of shit?
because because when the reason that the woman was referred to me is because the mother had a complaint against the police officer,
which turned out to be the same police officer. And the person who referred her to me was a good friend of hers, and suspected that the police officer had done something dirty, and then she referred him over to me to see if I could figure out if that was a real witness or not. I wonder how that conversation went when this accident occurred and this officer showed up and saw this woman who had put this complaint out against him. I wonder how that went. Oh, looky here. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like when you described him as cocky, so I could just imagine him going, well, this ain't going to go your way, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you might want to think about calling off that complaint you have against me. I ain't calling off nothing. Okay, we'll see, you know?
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. The police officer never once mentioned a witness. There was never a witness mentioned. There was when I interviewed the woman, I asked her, I said, well, was there any witnesses or anything at the scene? Did you see the police officer talking to anybody, any witnesses at the scene? She said, no, I didn't see him talk to anybody at the scene.
Yeah.
I said, well, where was the witness? She goes, I don't know where this so-called witness was when the accident happened. Okay. Well, and that was another question I asked the witness. I said, well, where were you at? I said, because nobody recalls seeing you at the scene. I said, where were you at? She goes, oh, I was way down the road because I stopped way down the road. She goes, because I wasn't going to stop. And I went, and she said, then I decided I better stop and tell the police what happened. So she goes, I was like 4 parking lots down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 parking lots down. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me ask you a question. How many times have you ever, listen, Vinny, here's another thing that was very suspicious to me. Here's another thing that when the police officer called me within 10 minutes of me calling the witness, here's something that was very suspicious. Think about that for a minute, Vinny. Within 10 minutes of me calling her, the police officer called me. That means that the minute that we hung up, she called the police officer.
And she had his direct cell phone, went right.
Exactly.
Did not have to go through a police. Hey, get me officer, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's at lunch right now. No, she had his cell phone.
Let me tell you something. In my career, I've probably called 10,000 police officers.
Yeah.
You know how many of them I've called directly?
How many?
0.
Yeah.
I have to call the station, find out what shift they're on,
Yeah.
call back during that shift, talk to their command officer
Yeah.
about 10 times, and then wait for that police officer to respond to me.
Yeah.
Now, these days, I have to call, find out what shift they're on, get their shift officer, the watch officer, and then their watch officer will give me their email to the officer I'm trying to get. Then I have to email that officer about 10 times, then call back and get the watch officer's email, and then carbon copy the watch officer on it, and then they will finally email me back.
Yeah.
Now, it takes me about 2 weeks to get an officer to respond.
Wow. Yeah.
And if I'm lucky and I get a good officer, I can get him in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
This woman had enough contact information to this officer that he called me in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times has a police officer ever said to you, Vinny, if you ever need me, here's my cell?
I don't think I have a single police officer's phone number.
The only police officer that's ever gave me their cell phone number was Ken Krause.
Yeah, Ken Krause. Yeah.
And I knew Ken for 4 or 5 years before he ever gave me that.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. The first 2 or 3 years I knew Ken, I'd have to go over to the station or call the station and he'd call me back.
Yeah. And how many years was it before you found out he was Marine Sergeant Ken?
Oh, probably
hero and
probably 10 or 12 years. Probably 10, 12 years before. He never mentioned it. And he never told me that he was there.
That's what a humble guy is. I mean, this guy saved 22 people's lives, risking his life, spending hell.
He didn't
hell, and he's just a humble guy.
He didn't risk his life. He traded his life for 22 people.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to put a link to his book in the description. You should really read this story, ladies, my friends. It's be advised, the book is very graphic, and the stuff that he saw and the stuff that he went through, he describes quite graphically. So buckle up, but it's an inspiring story.
And he describes a few things in there that and he describes them so graphically that you can
feel it
and you can smell it.
Smell it, yeah.
Yeah, there's certain things that he describes that you can smell that I still have trouble getting over it.
Oh yeah, I had to put the book down a couple times.
Yeah, it's. I
just put it down. I had to walk away from it.
Yeah, it's and what makes it so horrific is it's real, and you know that it's real. This is not something that somebody made up. This is not a fiction book. This really happened.
It's real. It's not made up. Plus, knowing the guy,
yep,
that made it even harder, to read about it. But
so the best thing you can do, Vinny, I'll tell you what else you need to do. Put the link to our podcast where we interviewed Ken for that about his time over there.
Oh, the most recent one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so listen
to if you haven't heard it, it's Iran's first hostage. Yeah.
Yes. Listen to that podcast, then read his book. So you know who Ken is. Just so you know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me tell you,
Case 59.
Yeah, and Ken is one of the best people in the world. He'll do anything in the world for you. He's just a very nice, humble guy, and once that you get to know him and then you read the things that he went through, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's why I say, Vinny, that I'm 1,000% sure that this police officer manufactured this witness.
Oh, I believe you. I 100% believe you, and I like the way you put all those pieces together to say, hey, something stinks here.
Yeah,
and then the way you baited her, and got her to back down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do that to all my witnesses.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want to do is lose a case because we got a fake witness.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if it's one of my witnesses, I'm going to bait them because the other side's going to bait them, and I want to know how they're going to handle it.
Right.
So if you're my witness, I'm going to bait you. I'm going to be a little bit hostile to you. I'm going to bait you. I want to know how you're going to handle it.
Yeah. Smart.
So I'm going to set you up and say, look, I might call you. I might be your best friend for the first 3 or 4 times I talk to you. And then I might call you up and go, hey, I just got a call. We got a video of this. The things you're telling me is not true. What's going on?
Yeah.
And just to see how you're going to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Because
that is smart, Lynn. I love that because if they, like you said, if they go, oh yeah, you got a video, fucking A, break it out, watch it.
Yeah.
What if they say, what are you talking about? If they start stuttering,
Yeah, exactly. You know how many witnesses that I have just lied to and completely destroyed and kept them off the witness stand, even our witnesses.
Yeah.
Because here is every attorney will tell you, you don't put a witness on the stand unless you know what they're going to say.
Right.
And we know that human nature, especially when there's something at stake, they're going to lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get to the bottom of it? You set them up.
Yeah, you set them up.
You set them up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I call. I mean, there's just a lot at stake, and you just have to flush them out, and you just have to know what's real and what's not real. So you just have to, pit them against each other.
Yeah.
But see, I knew when this woman told me that this was the police officer that she had a complaint against. And when I first started talking to this witness, I knew she was lying to me.
Yeah.
So I just let her tell her story. I just let her go into it. I let her talk about it. And I just let her set herself up.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, we got another witness that's just, that's just everything you're saying just don't make sense. It's just totally opposite.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we got a video, and we put you, if you go on the stand and tell this story and we show this video, we're going to impeach you and ask that you get jail time for lying. And boy, she just locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just,
hey, no habla English.
Exactly. That's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
And then the police officer called within 10 minutes.
That's how you knew that solidified it. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty damn clever.
And let me tell you something else. The fact that he called within 10 minutes, I knew because, see, there was a car wreck about 30 seconds from my house. I was coming home one evening and there was a car wreck. And I have a dash cam in all my vehicles.
Yeah.
And I told the police officer, I says, hey, I got a video of that accident. You want it? And he said, sure. So I made him a copy of it and I emailed it to him. Guess what he didn't do?
What?
He didn't give me his cell phone number.
Yeah. Of course.
Now, if I'm a witness, just like this woman was a witness, why didn't I get his cell phone number?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he didn't even give me a card with his name on it.
Yeah. This was probably his girlfriend or something.
Could have been his girlfriend. Yeah.
Girlfriend or a family member. Why was the officer
Hispanic? No.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean his brother's not married into a Spanish family.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It could have been a family member. Could have been his girlfriend. Could have been his side piece.
Yeah, because it's more than likely a family member, whether it's a direct family member or married into family member, because as you have revealed on this podcast in the past, police officers don't make as much money as they should, or at least the better ones don't make that much money. So where's this guy getting bribe money, to pay off a fake witness,
Or Vinny, it's somebody that he's arrested and
let off and he's owed a favor. Yeah. Yep. It's pretty smart. Yep.
Yeah. Something like that. There's no question in my mind. Now, do I have proof?
Mine either. No.
Do I have proof? No.
Do you have a picture of this guy, arranging this? No, but all the quote evidence points to that fact.
Yep.
All the way this thing came down definitely points. I 100% agree. And the fact that you disappeared and suddenly didn't speak English,
And Vinny, listen, I have interviewed probably 100,000 witnesses from police reports from car accidents, because I work at a lot of car accidents. That's one of my biggest clientele is car accident attorneys.
Yeah.
And never once has one of them said, well, the police officer gave me his cell number.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now I have had a few tell me, not a few, I've had a couple say that the police officer gave me his cell number, but it went something like this. It went like this. Well, the police officer asked me out on a date and gave me his cell number.
Yeah.
Now that was the conversation.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, but they wasn't witnesses. They were typically either at fault for the accident or not at fault, or, they wasn't crucial to the. I was interviewing a lady that was in an accident, and she was the victim in the accident. And she said, well, the police officer gave me his cell number. I said, oh, yeah, why? She goes, well, he asked me out on a date.
These guys.
So, yeah, so does that tell you anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, more corruption. I mean, and that, which is basically the theme of this podcast,
Well, I mean, he may not.
Exposing corruption,
Yeah. Yeah, and Vinny,
man. It's like I say every single time you expose another leg of this, or root of this corruption that seems to be spreading all over. I mean, I just say it's just depressing to me, that we can't count on these people that we're supposed to count on, cops, police officers, judges, these people that are supposed to protect our kids.
yeah,
DFACs, we're supposed to be able to count on these people to help us. And we've talked a lot about these people that just punch a time clock and don't want to do their job and have no interest in doing their job.
Yeah.
And they wash each other's hands, or watch what is that old saying? I'll wash your back, you wash mine, or whatever.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's just depressing, man.
This episode is brought to you by the Accident Attorneys of Mungie and Associates, voted the best law firm by the American Institute of Trial Lawyers. When life hits you hard with a serious injury, don't let insurance companies hit you harder with lowball offers and endless runaround. You deserve justice. You deserve compensation. You deserve to win. The Accident Attorneys of Mungie and Associates have a high-powered legal team with a nationwide reach and the highest rating on the National Attorney Rating Service. Trial Magazine calls them one of the most influential law firms in America. They win big. Big results at trial court, appeals court, the state Supreme Court, and are recognized as award-winning litigators of the year. The Accident Attorneys of Mungie and Associates handle everything so you can heal. Don't face this battle alone. The aftermath of an accident is traumatic enough. Medical bills pile up, pain overwhelms, emotions run high, and that's where they step in to shoulder the legal fight while you focus on what truly matters, your recovery. They are the first law firm to offer a bigger settlement guarantee. If they can't beat the amount of your current settlement with a bigger settlement offer, your legal fees are free. Ready to win your case? Find out in one phone call if you have a case and how much your case is really worth. Call the Accident Attorneys of Mungie and Associates today at 1-888-477-0597 or visit them online at becauseyouwanttowin.com.
Well, it's just like this police officer, in a real world, they would have really investigated this.
Yeah.
And they would have got to the bottom of it, and they would have found out where this woman came from and why she was a fake witness, because she was a fake witness.
Yeah.
Because
100%. I 100% believe that.
She completely disappeared when I told her that we had video. She would not testify.
Yeah.
And if she's telling the truth, what does it matter if we have video?
Yeah.
What does it matter?
exactly.
We actually won our case because she thought we had video, and we did not have video. There was no video,
Yeah.
but she thought we had video.
But if this thing went further, if the insurance company did not say, okay, we'll pay the limit, isn't that what you said?
They paid the policy limits. Yeah.
Policy limit. If the insurance company said, we're not paying the policy limit, take us to court, you could have subpoenaed this woman, whether she wanted to testify or not, right?
We could have.
Yeah. And that would have destroyed their case.
Yeah.
But they knew that.
Well,
probably,
Well, an insurance company in the state of Georgia, insurance companies have motivation to settle. So if an attorney sends an insurance company a demand and says, okay, we demand that you settle this case for whatever, and they say, we're not going to settle this case, we're just going to be stubborn about it, and we're not going to settle this case, and you go to court and show that they were litigiously stubborn, then you can potentially move the policy limits guidelines.
Right.
So what used to be like a $25,000 policy limit, if you show that they should have settled that case for policy limits and they didn't, and you have clear liability, and they're just being stubborn for no reason, then the courts can say, well, okay, policy limits are no longer in effect. Whatever the jury awards, you have to pay.
Wow.
So they have motivation to keep it out of court.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's good.
yeah. So, and they knew that they couldn't win it without their witness.
Right.
They knew that they had no leg to stand on without their witness, and they knew that if it went to court, and we showed that the police officer was trying to intimidate me for interviewing the witness, that was going to show that their witness was fake.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you can't interview the witness.
I would have loved to be been a fly on the wall, or rather an operator on the line when that phone call went down from the insurance company's investigator to whoever, when they found out that the witness was full of shit. That when they found out, I would have loved to have heard that phone call. Well, what are you talking about? We don't have a witness? Oh, wait a minute. We did have a witness, but she was full of shit. She was, the cop was intimidating people. Oh my God. We got to call off the dogs, man. We got to settle. Yeah. I would have loved to have heard that conversation.
Well, just for clarification, court is all about openness.
Yeah.
So,
or supposed to be. Yeah.
So if we would have filed a lawsuit, the witness has to come in and testify, and both parties have equal right to this, has equal access to that witness.
Yeah.
You can't hide anything. So both parties has to, matter of fact, so if you have a witness, you have to turn over your information to that witness, to the other party, before it ever goes to court, and give that party access to that witness, to call that witness, to talk to that witness, to discuss, to ask that witness questions before you get to court.
Yeah.
So for a police officer to call up and say, you're not allowed to talk to that witness, you cannot call that witness anymore, you're not allowed to speak to that witness.
Yeah.
And that's why I said to the police officer, that's why I said, well, what are you going to say when I serve that witness with a subpoena?
Yeah.
What are you going to say then? Are you going to tell me I can't subpoena the witness?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you going to tell the judge? You're going to smack the judge on the hands?
Yeah.
What are you going to tell? Why don't you talk to a judge, Mr. Police Officer?
Yeah.
What are you going to say to the judge?
That was the nail in the coffin right there. Yeah. You're not, you better stop calling that witness. You can't call that witness. Yeah. What? Since when?
Well, what the police officer told me is, he said, well, you're not allowed to talk to that witness until you subpoena them, and then you can talk to them in court. But that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
That's not how a subpoena works.
Yeah.
I can subpoena that witness, and I can talk to that witness anytime I want to.
Right.
I can subpoena that witness, and if they're a hostile witness, I can ask the judge to allow me to treat them as a hostile witness.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah.
So
As Mona Lisa Vito in the movie My Cousin Vinny said, it's called disclosure, you dick. It's called disclosure, you dick.
yeah. So even we could have even subpoenaed the police officer,
Yeah.
and we didn't have to subpoena the police officer for the wreck. We could have subpoenaed the police officer for making that phone call, and we could have subpoenaed the police officer's body cam and cell phone records and seen how many times he had actually talked to that witness before and after,
Yeah.
if it would have got to that point.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
So
the insurance company saw all of that. They saw all of that. And that's why it never went to court.
And that's why it never went to court.
Amazing. I love
because what they seen is they're going to show the jury that a police officer tried to intimidate the other side and not let them talk to a manufactured witness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And they knew
the very definition of
police intimidation.
Police intimidation. Those are the words I'm looking for. Yeah.
And Vinny, little did this dumbass police officer know that I'm not smart enough to be intimidated. I'm just really, I'm just not smart enough to be intimidated.
Yeah.
If I was smart enough to be intimidated, I wouldn't be talking about the police officer in the city that I live in the city in.
Right. Hey, do you have any idea whatever happened to that officer?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
And don't care. Hopefully.
I don't care either. Well, I kind of care. I would love to know that he got suspended or fired or something, I mean, some kind of retribution or consequence,
Well, Vinny, I would say that's been about 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would just about bet you that he's probably been fired for other things by now.
Oh, for sure. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I just can't see him still being on the force.
Yeah.
Because he's, if he's that bold to do that if you do it with somebody that don't have a complaint against you, you're probably not going to get caught.
Yeah.
But if you do it with somebody who's got a complaint, see, if you would have called me up and said, "Oh, this police officer's manufactured a witness," because the client never said the police officer manufactured a witness.
Yeah.
The police officer never mentioned that at all. I'm the one who discovered that.
Yeah.
But if you call me up and said or indicated that a police officer manufactured a witness, I would just say, "Nah, I'm not interested."
Right.
Because, but when she told me that she had already had a complaint filed against a police officer, that's what made me.
That's when the red flags.
And that's what made me say, "Okay, I'll take this case."
Yeah.
That was kind of the stepping stone that got me to the, "Okay, I'll take this case."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why the woman was referred to me by some of my buddies, was because of the fact that she had a complaint against this police officer because of her 16-year-old daughter. And then all of a sudden she's in this wreck. This police officer works the accident, and all of a sudden there's a witness.
Yeah.
And I said,
it's like something don't smell right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the witness, I said, "Well, where were you?" I said, "Nobody's seen you being interviewed by the police officer." "Oh, I was like 4 parking lots down." Why were you 4
How
parking?
Did you witness anything 4 parking lots down?
Yeah. And then I just, and see, when I shouldn't tell everybody this because, I'm exposing my techniques, but what I do is I just I'm very friendly with you, and I'll just let you set yourself up and just let you continue to talk and let you set your story up. And then I'll just, as you're setting your story up, I'll just write down where your holes are at. Because you got to remember, I've interviewed a lot of witnesses.
Yeah.
And I can pick up your holes in your story pretty quickly.
For sure.
So I start, and I don't let you know that I've picked up your holes, but I'll start talking to you about the holes in your story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were 4 parking lots down. Oh God, I understand. That's why I would have done the same thing. That makes sense. That makes sense. I see what you're doing. I would have went there too,
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
that it's just dumb as hell. Knowing that
Right.
that
Right.
that no normal person would have done that.
Yeah. And the more you agree with them, the more
They-
they relax, the more they're likely to tell you more bullshit. Yeah.
The more they shovel it on,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
yeah.
and then once that I get them in that corner, and then I say, well, I said to her, well, I said, we got conflicting stories because I got another witness that says something totally different than what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what are they saying? I said, well, I said, it's a video. I said, we got a video. So we got an independent witness that was in a third car that wasn't even involved in the accident. It's got a video. And I asked her what kind of car she was in. And I said, your car wasn't even in that video. I said, we couldn't find your car in that video anywhere.
Yeah.
And I said, so I don't know how you've seen those red lights. And, and I said,
especially 4 parking lots down.
and I said, this case is going to go to court. And I said, if you lie on the stand and tell the story you just told and we show this video, I said, we're going to bring you up on perjury charges.
Yeah.
And I said, that's jail time. And oh my God. Oh, she started cussing me. And then she all of a sudden switched from English to Spanish just like that. And no hablo English. And then I swear, Vinny, it couldn't have been 10 minutes. And the police officer called me and said I wasn't allowed to call her anymore.
I love it.
And I said, you can't do that. I said, you can't tell me I can't call a witness in a case. You can't tell me I can't call a witness. You can't tell me how to conduct a case.
Like you don't know anything about the law.
Yeah, well, he thought.
Yeah.
So I filed a complaint immediately. And Vinny, I really and truly thought that they would actually do something.
Yeah.
And when I walked in, I thought, well, they're actually going to do something. And the minute that I walked in, they had like 3 police officers sitting there. And I knew when they had 3 other police officers sitting there, they were going to tell me that they wasn't going to do jack squat.
Yeah.
They said, well, he was just telling you that you couldn't harass citizens in Roswell. I wasn't harassing anybody. Yeah. She supposedly volunteered to be a witness on a police report, which is public information.
Yeah.
If she's going to volunteer to be a witness, then I can call her anytime I want.
100%.
And I didn't harass her. I called her one time.
Yeah.
But you called her a liar.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. The video called her a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they didn't know I didn't have a video.
That's right.
And when I left that day, and I'm sure the reason that they called me in was to fill me out to see if I had the video.
Yeah.
And I left making them think I had the video.
Of course.
And see,
that's your wild card.
And see, until they listen to this podcast, this is when they'll discover I didn't have a video.
Yeah.
But here's the bad news for them.
What?
We've already won the case.
Yeah, that's right.
So the case has already been paid out. Yeah, but see, we already know the witness was lying.
Yeah.
Because the witness went underground.
Yeah.
Because I had my Spanish guy that worked for me try to call her for about 2 months, and she would not answer the phone.
Wow,
he called her.
Really
he called her from about 10 different phone numbers and left her messages in Spanish and told her that he had money for her and everything, and she would not return the phone calls or nothing.
Yeah, she went into deep hiding.
And how would she know that this Spanish guy, he didn't mention the wreck. He didn't mention anything about the wreck.
Yeah.
He just called her up and said, hey, this is so-and-so.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you. He made up all kinds of different stories.
Yeah.
For about 2 months, he tried to reach her and call from different numbers and use different names and everything. And went call from unknown, and she would not answer the phone. And when I called her, she answered on the first ring.
Yeah.
So why would she quit answering the phone?
Because for an idiot, she's pretty smart.
That's right.
That was a good one, Len. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, but I enjoy all these, man. That's why I'm still doing it. You know,
Yeah.
so much
Some
fun
of them,
for me.
some of them are pretty good, Vinny.
Yeah, man. Some of them are. Hey, I'm having a blast, bro. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, do us a favor and click the subscribe button and leave a comment and tell us what you think of the show. We'd love to hear it, good or bad. If you like stand-up comedy and goofball videos, check me out online. My website is vinny.com. That's www.vinnie.com. All the links to my social media are there. Please give me a follow. If you need to surveil someone, if you need to serve someone papers, if you're looking for someone, if you need private investigator, if you need a private investigator, Lynn Lambden is the best, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me your website.
www.lwias.com.
And thank you, Simple Funding and the accident attorneys of Mungie and Associates for sponsoring this episode. We do appreciate it, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you next week.